the results it has yielded? Which high point was the victory at the last election of September 19th, 2020, in which our people freely exercised their franchise and elected a leader of their choice? There is need to scale this political achievement to the entire country. If what happened in Edo State can be replicated in the forthcoming presidential and National Assembly elections, Nigeria would have taken a critical step to democratic consolidation. It is time to set sentiments aside. Our country is adrift. It is time to take very tough decisions to rescue our country from the brink. We must now adopt proven methods and innovations in retooling our politics and democracy and make them work for the delivery of good governance and development to our people. I thank you very much for listening.
Management of Nigeria Institute of International Affairs to you for such a most illuminating lecture that we had today. And I do hope that this will be widely circulated, especially at this point in time. So that
my name is that most communal classes are southeast. I don't usually hear of communal classes from up north. Is there a reason for it, or is there something they are doing we are not doing? Thank you.
Your Excellency, my name is Collins. I report for the Voice of America. I'm a retiree from Voice of Nigeria. But let me be reasonably nostalgic while I ask this question. You were in Ibadan, University of Ibadan, along with Professor Sarah. And I was with Radio Nigeria Ibadan, spearheading transmissions or broadcast in Edo. So the pledge you had in Edo, I translated it in 1978 June. But one nostalgic is that we met at Leventis, and then I was trying to make a little boast. And then you were there, and you overheard and turned around and said, "Into what department?" And I didn't know what to answer. I felt a bit of a shock. I think I walked away, really, literally. And I met Professor Sarah outside as he was coming in. And that has kept a friendship. So I'm seeing you one-on-one after about 42, 43 years at this close range. I congratulate you. I am a member of the, what do you call Obaseki supporters on the internet all through the election. I had to come to Nigeria to urge for you, and you can be sure that from my small community, Okinhude, you cut the votes. But then what I want to say is, there are a lot of projects that you have spread your hands on. And verily, I have come to discover that your dependence is not being on government funds. Now, to what extent is your government working to use, one, the productivity in the community? Because when it comes to cocoa, for instance, and then the lot of fruits you find coming to Lagos, they get perished, and you expect people to be able to harness this. There used to be a factory at a hall. One time when I drove there, I don't know what has happened to it, but harnessing this to add to what the state is making. First. Secondly, the application, when you talked about the manufacturing of building materials, I wonder why people still build with cement block. The laterite in Edo is the strongest. The house built by my great-grandfather, we still live in it now. And when I built my house where I live, it's about 125 kilometers from here. I didn't use cement block. I enjoy living it at Moweiba for access. Now, would you incorporate that into making sure that new towns and cities are created in Edo State? Thank you.
Good afternoon. Now, my name is Stephen Sheyi, managing editor of the Agency of Nigeria. I must say that the Nigerian is certainly one of the best approval institutes in the world itself. Now, I'll say that I found most of the issues raised, and the way you raised them must have been a manner that my professor at ABU, Balaus Ma, would say brutally frank. We are really brutally frank looking at the issues. Well, and let me look at the way you look at the particular aspect of the political group playing on the divisions in the Nigerian system. That has been the situation for a very long time. As I said, I want to focus my own report on it later. But what I want to ask you is in respect of your ongoing efforts towards this anti-open grazing bill. Now, I want to think that it's one bill that I think the government wants to promote so that perhaps it can minimize clashes and communal clashes that you also refer to. But there's already the fear among your own people that 20%.
We're going to take one last question, 2 questions. Okay.
Thank you, Your Excellency, for this insightful lecture. My name is Ali Misalifu. I'm a research intern at the Nigerian Institute of International Affairs. So I don't have a question. I have a concern for the youth because, in Nigeria, most of us, we are angry, we are confused, and we are frustrated. So the question is not a question. My concern is there hope for us in this country? Because, my colleagues, despite the fact that there is war in Ukraine, they believe that it's even better to stay than being in Nigeria. So I'm confused. So I want to know if there is really hope for us. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Your Excellency, for the insightful delivery of the great speech you gave to us today. My name is Okibale Joshua, MP of Jero. My question is, all this great feat that you have achieved in Edo State in terms of the electricity stability and also in some infrastructural progress at the state level, what is the plan of taking it to the federal level in which you can maximize it and we can have it on a greater pedestal? Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Your Excellency, for the lecture. My name is Efemubi. Right now, I've adopted Edo State as my state because my DG is Edo. Most of my friends are from Edo. But, sir, You know, listening to your lecture, you've made Edo State a model state. And there's an aspect, mine is not really, it's not actually a question, but some form of suggestion or recommendations. Now, you see, the area about agriculture, you know, what has killed agriculture in Nigeria is the subsistence farming. And I lived in China for a couple of years. I go back and forth every day to do studies there. And what I understand about farming in China is not subsistence farming, but cooperative.
Sir, you look gender friendly. And I want to use this opportunity to find out how many women are in your cabinet.
My name is Dr. Chris Okonafor. I am an Edo in diaspora. I am very conversant with the politics of Nigeria and Edo State particularly. I am a political scientist.
Thank you very much. Let me attempt to answer the 7 questions I had from the audience. First, someone talked about communal clashes. Why is it more prevalent in the South and not the North? I can't speak for the North, but I can tell you that the issue of communal clashes, particularly in our state, is as a result of environmental pressures. Today, you are beginning to see on lived areas that used to be forests in the past, are now areas being cultivated by people for food production. And there's pressure on that land. And you find communities, as a result of urbanization, you're finding out people going out to try and get more land or access to land. And that is creating conflicts because we haven't, our land tenure system and our land use system needs to be modernized. Productivity in our communities, I agree with you. At the end of the day, it has to be about local content. We must produce what we consume, whether it's the clothes we wear, the houses we live in, the food we eat, the education of our children, providing healthcare. We have to provide all of these ourselves. But to the extent we continue to rely on being serviced from outside, to that extent, we always rely on foreign, access to foreign exchange, which we may not, be able to earn as we have found ourselves today. But that is where the opportunity for Nigeria lies. That we have a very, very large market. So can you imagine if we could produce on a scale what we consume, how rich and how wealthy we could be as a people? Like I said, today we spend over $40 billion US importing goods and services that we can produce ourselves. But that just puts us in poverty. I mean, it's one of the issues that increasing the levels of poverty in Nigeria. The anti-open grazing bill. First, you have to understand that this has been thoroughly politicized. For us in Edo, we see grazing, we see ranching, or the beef industry as business, just as you see poultry or piggery or any other form of agricultural business. Government has no business in business. So it's not government's role to provide land to anybody to do ranching, and we have said so. But if you, as a private individual, want to go into the business of ranching and you have land, I cannot stop you from doing so, just as I cannot stop you from, investing in your piggery. What we have said is that we don't want open grazing. We don't want people to just graze their cattle in the open. However, if you say people should not graze their cattle in the open, what is the alternative? Are you saying that you don't want your population to consume beef? So there must be an alternative. And that alternative needs to be carefully thought out and provided for. So nobody has said any amount of land, whether it's 10, 20%, that will be given for grazing. No, I don't have that land. But however, if you want to do the business, I cannot stop you. Is there hope for Nigeria? There is hope. Nigeria is a great country. I don't believe there are not very many countries like Nigeria in the world. Because the amount of opportunities that exist here, I don't see it in many places on the continent. There are very few countries in the world that have the population we have with the amount of natural resources. I think the challenge we've had is one of leadership. How do you expand the space? And that's what I've tried to say in this lecture, which is that you require political leadership. You require citizen participation. People know what they want. So what you need to do is create a political environment, a political space for people to be able to express themselves. And you as government should guide them and help them be the best they can be. Government cannot substitute its role. The military tried it, they did not succeed. They tried to do things with immediate effect, and it didn't happen for 30 years. So today with politics, let government be in tune with the people to understand what they want and then provide what they need for them to be able to live their lives to the fullest. How do we escalate what we have, our achievements in Edo, to the federal level? I guess these examples I have given should be the issues for debates when people come in this season to say they want us to vote for them. They must be able to tell us in clear terms, very, very clear terms, not, I will provide this or provide that. No, we must ask, how will you provide it? What is your track record from the past? If you have not done it in the past, you've not shown us evidence of delivering, then why should we trust you? Agriculture, that is the hope for Nigeria. I mean, this country, like I said, so blessed with the amount of land we have and the diversity of our ecology. There's nothing in this country cannot produce. But the biggest challenge for agriculture, I'm fortunate, I think we're on the opposite side. I don't believe in the command structure where government determines everything like in China. I believe individuals must be allowed free choice. But the issue with agriculture in Nigeria is not, the people have remained as peasant because there has not been large-scale investments in agriculture. You need to put a lot of money in agriculture and cascade it down. People will be subsistent, it will be small farmers forever if you don't have large farms and large farmers who can pull the small farmers up, who can help them create markets, who can help them create better farming practices, and who can also create the support they need. But one big issue that has affected agriculture in Nigeria, more than anything else, is our trade policy. Our trade policy that seems to favor imports rather than domestic production. So until we change that trade policy, where buying goods from abroad is made cheaper than producing locally, people will always go out and try and buy from abroad. Lastly, security. Whether we like it or not, whether we accept it or not, the security structure and architecture of Nigeria is changing. For many years, until now, security used to be in the exclusive list. So most states don't have the capacity to organize security from a state standpoint. We can organize agriculture, we know how to, because it's on the concurrent list. We can organize our healthcare system, we know how to, because we've done so forever. You have always had the Ministry of Health, you've always had the Ministry of Agriculture, you always had the Ministry of, Environment and things like that. But you've never had, in most states, a Ministry of Security. or security agents, that manages security agencies. So even when you say the governor is the chief security officer, what's the mechanism? What's the tool? Okay, he calls the security council meeting, but he doesn't have any real control over the service chiefs under his command. They still receive directives from somewhere else. And also, it is not possible. Nigeria is just too large a country to be policed centrally. You have to have multi-tiered policing. The federal police is important. We need to have a very strong central policing system, federal policing system. But you must not and you cannot rule out the need and the case for local government policing and state policing. It's only a question of time. Well, I didn't want to, and I just felt it wasn't necessary to answer. Because today, I am being accused by the male folk in Edo State of having sold out to women. Because my cabinet is 50-50. Actually, it's slightly more than 50. Because half of my commissioners are women. I think half of my special advisors, political, are women. And I just pray that in the next election, about 50% of our House of Assembly will be women.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Please, at this juncture, I would like to call on the chairman of today's event, Professor Bola Akinterinwa, to give his remarks. Professor Akinterinwa, please.
If you choose to go to the University of Ibadan, you listen to lectures, you write examination. At the end, you either pass, meaning that the college has gone through you, or you fail because you did not allow the college to go through you. Because His Excellency Mr. Godwin has told us that God will continue to win. I have the mandate, the instruction of the Director General of the World Institute in Africa, the African Institute in Nigeria, and the Nigerian Institute of International Affairs in Lagos, to respectfully not ask the governor to come here to receive, but to sit where he is, to first of all receive this particular special gift. This, I can tell you that this plaque has been given to probably not up to 50 since 1961. And it is only for His Excellency Mr. Godwin Obaseki, the Executive Governor of Edo State, being the guest lecturer at the NIIA Distinguished Lecture Series 2022, for delivering a very thought-provoking lecture titled Making Politics Work for Citizens, Governance and Development, the Edo State Experience. This is an acknowledgement of what you have done. The NIIA doesn't give money. Not because it does not have money, but the NIIA appreciates knowledge industry. NIIA is is a factory for manufacturing ideas. And I can tell you that in giving the plaque, the summary of what has happened is that the focus, the objective is Edo. The technique, the methodology is Edo. The instrument is Edo. And above all, what's the meaning of Edo in this case? Edo, E stands for education. D is for determination. And O is for organization. It is simply because you have this combination of education, determination, and organization that you have the three pillars of its magic. That's what explains why Edo is thriving. That's why they are doing well. And he is now saying, for instance, what you have capacity and capability to do, why import that? This is a thought-provoking question. More than 300,000 people have been employed. But I want to plead with His Excellency that you should add one to it, 300,001. Why? Simply because one guy, his name is Kalu Moses. He's working with Radio Nigeria. He's he's blind in our own eyes, but he's not blind in the eyes of God. He decided that, oh,